And welcome back to Kings of Influence. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray William Johnson.
I'm the other half, Epic Lloyd, and it is a Monday, but we're here in my back office. Normally we're on Wednesdays, but we have some things going on, so we're pre-recording in order to package this to-go lunch for you. And by lunch, I mean ear lunch.
Ear lunch. I like that. That should have been the name of our podcast, Ear Lunch.
Ear lunch. It's the Kings of Influence. I'm Epic Lloyd, and if you would like to get a text from us letting you know when we go live every week or when we're going to upload videos every week, you can text the word KINGS to the number 43506, and you will get one text a week from us to tell you what's going on and when we're uploading. So feel free to do that because we know it's a hard place to find all your content that you want to get in YouTube. In the YouTube podcasting world, there's so many options, and we want to be right at your fingertips.
Hey, just where I like to be. Well, we got a good show today. Interesting stuff. A lot of stuff happened in the last week. We got that crazy Gillette commercial alluding to toxic masculinity.
Yep.
We got the high school students in the MAGA hats harassing the Native American elder, allegedly.
Alleged.
We got a high school that bans gay students. That's fun.
Always fun to talk about that.
I want to talk about computer-generated Instagram models. Completely fake CGI. That's a good one. And then we got a man who sold his kidney for an iPhone.
10?
I think it was like an iPhone 5. It was a while back.
He got ripped.
It was a while back. Yeah, he got ripped off.
Oh, man. Well, let's just get right into it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's been so. Let me update you on Man-uary because I know someone was asking. Someone reached out to me, and they're a podcast. They're a Kings of Influence listener, and they were telling me that they are also doing Man-uary, and I completely forgot the gentleman's name. But shout out to you because it's a rough ride.
Yeah. I will say, Ray, you look good in terms of when I stop drinking and when I like go to the gym and stuff, my eyes get clearer and like my face and my skin, and you're looking clean, brother.
Clean.
You're looking clean.
Yeah, that's right. So for those of you guys who weren't here listening to us that week, Man-uary is from January 2nd to January 31st, essentially the entire month of January. I give up a lot of a lot of things I enjoy. So I give up alcohol, weed, soda, caffeine, sweets, no sugar, no like candy, cake, or anything like that. And then I work out minimum 20 minutes a day, even if it's just cardio. Gotta work out.
Doing it.
Yeah, killing it.
Have you stayed
good.
faithful?
Yes. I've not cheated once.
Wow.
And it's
the 20th.
I find it's one of those things where once you get your mind locked into that thing, it's like if you didn't eat carbs for a year and then you ate a carb, you'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah.
This bread tastes weird.
Habit.
Yeah, right. So once I got my mind into that habit, it was actually pretty easy. It took about a week.
Yeah.
Had some headaches and stuff.
In honor of you, this month, I stopped putting sugar in my coffee. Now, I know that's a big investment, but for me, as a 25-year coffee drinker who has put sugar in his coffee every single cup of that coffee, I stopped doing it. Usually I'm like 2 to 3 sugars in each cup, like a cup about this size or whatever. And I will say that for the first week, it was like, and now I don't even notice it. Now it just tastes like as much as I always liked coffee. So I'm working just as hard as you, just in a different way.
Homage to Man-uary. I think it's cool, man. I think delayed gratification is good for you. I've always said that. I can tell you this though, my anxiety has subdued a lot.
Yeah, caffeine, sugar, sure.
I think it's one of those things. I mean, I kind of gave it all up at once.
Well,
so I don't know what it is.
Well, if you go to the doctor and you have anxiety, they're going to tell you to do a couple things. They'll say exercise more. They'll say stop drinking caffeine and maybe don't eat so much sugar. Do one of those things.
Yeah.
You're doing all three, so I can't imagine it's not going to affect you in a good way.
Yeah, and then so here's some other weird side effects of Man-uary.
Okay.
So I like bite my nails. It's the thing I do it almost subconsciously. Like I don't even know I'm doing it.
Same way, dude. I wish I could stop.
Since I was a kid.
Wish I could stop.
I wasn't even trying, and the other day I noticed that my nails are long. I stopped biting them, and I never saw that coming, and I'm like, is that linked to the anxiety? What is that?
That's crazy because I'm like
they're not that long, but this is the longest they've ever been in my life,
dude. I'm one of those guys who like bites his nails until he's bleeding and shit, and it's like you're like, what's wrong with you? And I feel like I've had this thought several times in my life where I'll bite my nails on the day that I die. Like every single day of my life, it happens. So if there was I was like, maybe I need to see a hypnotist or something like that, you know? And because I know a guy who saw a hypnotist to quit smoking. He was like a pack and a half a day smoker for 20 years. Saw a hypnotist and the shit worked. Like 3 sessions and it was done. I was like, maybe you can help me with this cannibalism of my fingers that I have.
Well, I don't necessarily believe in that stuff, but I knew a guy with the same story.
Yeah.
Back in New York or wherever.
Yeah.
So I went and saw a hypnotist and quit smoking. Or maybe it was fear of flying. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
But he said it worked. I'm like, all right, whatever works for you, man.
Yeah, and I think when you're doing it that way, I think a hypnotist is a guy who puts people on stage and turns them into chickens, and hypnosis is like when you go and see an actual guy.
Oh God.
I think it's just semantics at this point. But when you call him a hypnotist, I'm like waiting for him to like be like, when I say Ellen, you cluck like a chicken.
I'm just waiting to be corrected by one of those guys
Yeah.
who just feels pretentious. Actually, I'm technically a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not a hypnotist. I'm not a magician. Stop it.
I know.
And I got to be like, shut up, dude.
Enough.
Where did you get your degree
I know.
in hypnotherapy? Is that a school? How do you get certified for that?
There is none. There's certifications for hypnosis, but there's no like medical accreditation.
Yeah, no, you can't transfer those credits into Harvard.
Same like an chiropractor.
Right.
Like, I mean, that scares me even more. Like, let me basically break your neck.
Yeah.
But no doctor anywhere really says that that's an actual science.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the accreditations for being a chiropractor are. I know there's certifications and people open clinics and practices and people swear by it and their back feels better and that's fine.
And they have those videos like, I mean, I hate to even bring it back up, but we did that pimple popper video.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like neck cracker videos too.
Ah.
And my friend Leah was on it. And this video's got like 10 million views, maybe 5 or something. And it was just basically this guy cracking her back and then her being in tears because her back hurt so much less. Now, I don't know if it's real. Like, I don't know if she actually had that back pain, but she definitely looked like, I know her. And you can tell if somebody you know is sort of lying, hopefully. It looked legit. Like, she legitimately looked like she had some relief in her back. I was like, wow.
Standing up a little straighter.
Yeah, if your disc, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, chiropractic things make sense where like your discs aren't lined up. I just don't know that you can just crack your shoulder to make your elbow feel better, and all that shit. But maybe, I mean, we're all just held up by puppet strings anyway.
Chiropractic, it's one of those things where, on the surface, at its base level, if you're having back pain and you get your back cracked in the right way, it's going to feel better. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But chiropractic, it's one of those things when people get really into it, they start assigning other like virtues to it. Like, yeah, it gives you more energy. It'll change your eating habits. You'll lose weight. Like all this nonsense. It suddenly becomes this miracle drug. And I think that's what turns a lot of people off to it.
I agree. But I will say this, dietitians who talk about all that kind of crazy stuff, that turns me off to dietitians. But if you came up to me and was like, look, if you quit sugar and caffeine, you might quit biting your nails. I'd be like, you're full of shit.
Right.
But there it is.
It's something.
I'll say this. I quit eating carbs and my joints feel better. Like, that's how I know I'm. It was my birthday this last Friday, the 18th was my birthday. And that's how I know I'm like middle-aged man. Because like I quit eating carbs and bread and stuff. And like I've had surgery on my knees. I was a gymnast. I busted them and all that stuff. I have pins in my knees. Shit would hurt like arthritis every single day. And eating less carbs solved that. Not solved it, but like alleviated it greatly.
Led to it. Did you lose weight and stuff?
I did lose weight.
So that could have also been part of it?
Yep. I lost weight. I like tripled my water intake. I drink about 70 ounces of water every day. And my joints feel better, which makes sense because, carbs are, they expand. They're, what do they call it? An irritant or whatever. So, but hey, that helped me, man. And I was always like, just eat whatever the hell you want. But that changed my life.
Oh, yeah. No, I never give dietary advice to people because I know nutritional science is kind of way out there sometimes. Even when the data is in, it's not always in because human bodies work differently. But I always say, oh, yeah, you think giving up gluten is going to get rid of that belly fat? Well, try it for a couple of weeks. See how you feel. It's always my advice. So if someone said, carbs is going to alleviate my joints, I say, I don't think that's going to happen, but like try it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
See how you feel.
Just like you said, for me, it took about 7 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. So I say 7, but like at a month, I was like, what the hell? I've been doing this for a month. It took a little bit longer than a month, like 6, 8. And I didn't lose weight for about a month either. Stayed about the same weight. Maybe, you fluctuate a pound or 2 here and there, depending on how big the shit you took was that morning.
Damn.
But like after 6 weeks, then I started to see a change. So,
oh, wow.
And I also became a Christian.
Found Jesus. Well, I can tell you one of the other side effects of Man-uary, other than like I've lost like 4 or 5 pounds at this point.
Yeah.
Is that I started dreaming.
Oh, because you smoked a lot of weed before.
I smoked weed to go to bed.
Yeah, well, that's...
I smoked weed to go to sleep, and now I don't. And apparently, and weed fucks with your REM sleep. And so I started dreaming, and I know because I had a really bad nightmare one night that this guy I used to work with drowned, and I saw him drowned. It was horrible.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, I woke up, and then I started thinking, man, I've been having a lot of dreams, like in the last couple of weeks. What the hell is this? And I started reading about it, and like, yeah, weed fucks with your REM sleep.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that, and I've heard that quite a bit, actually. Talib Kweli sings a song about how he stopped smoking weed and started dreaming again, and all these dreams that he's had. And
so poetic.
I know, man, he's so deep. But I remember hearing that lyric and being like, oh, okay. And you just confirmed that. So I don't smoke weed before I go to bed. A lot of people smoke weed before they go to bed. That doesn't work for me. It keeps me up. So
weird.
Usually by the time I fall asleep, I'm back to my old self again.
Like all strains keep you up? You one of those strains guys?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can tell the difference between sativa and indica, and that was when I moved to LA. And everywhere else where I lived, it was like swag or dirt weed or whatever. But here, it's such a specific industry that they got it down to a science. I can really tell a difference. Oh, I'm watching that docuseries, Murder Mountain, about Humboldt County.
Whoa, I haven't heard of that.
It's on Netflix, dude. It's all about the weed industry in Humboldt County. It's pretty intense, dude. You should check it out.
Well, with a name like Murder Mountain,
I know.
It better be a thrill ride.
It's amazing.
Hell.
What else is going on? I got a show on Wednesday if you guys want to come check us out. We're doing a show called Pass the Mic at the Westside Comedy Theater. It's like a freestyle rap show. We do some battle rapping and stuff. And I have my birthday. I'm going to Idaho on Friday to go skiing.
Woo, get yourself some potatoes.
I know it.
What's it? Why Idaho? I mean, I know skiing, but I didn't know.
My wife and I, this year, we were like, let's think about what the things we want to do are. A lot of people our age have kids and all that stuff, and that takes so much of our time, and that's not what we do. And we're like, we have this extra time that most people don't have, and we don't want to just dive into work all the time. And so we're like, what do we love to do? We love getting out of LA. I live in a town that I love to leave.
Yeah.
And she just heard about this town called Coeur d'Alene, I think it's called, Idaho. And it was like a really just small, we both like the woods. We both like the outdoors. I don't hike a lot, but I like being in the outdoors. So we're like, shit, let's just go. It was the right time to do it, and we did it. Epic.
Nice.
That's it.
That's it. Most boring story ever.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this Gillette commercial.
All right.
Because this has been driving everyone nuts for the past week. So as you know, about a week ago, Gillette puts out this commercial, calling it a short film. It's about 2 minutes long, and it tackles toxic masculinity. I don't want to show it here because it's too long, and you've probably already seen it. But it shows shows kids bullying each other, shows guys sort of catcalling, harassing women. It shows what looks like some form of sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Shows some mansplaining, some really bad behavior. And then at the end, some other guys sort of step in and kind of mediate and alleviate, the situation.
Yeah.
And the whole, I guess, notion of this commercial is toxic masculinity is bad. Men, we can be better. If you see something, say something. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
At least that's what I got from it. But so Gillette uploaded this to YouTube, and it went incredibly viral. People were sharing it. For it's at 24 million views now.
25.
For some reason, just because we live in this day and age, it immediately angered, it outraged, from what I can tell, the right and the right-wing media. And usually it's the left that's outraged at dumb shit.
Yeah.
And this time, it was a lot of the people on the right. Now, I'll admit that the commercial is self-congratulatory. It's a little bit of virtue signaling. no one is fooled into thinking that they aren't trying to sell razors. They're trying to sell razors.
Yeah. And no one is fooled into thinking that Gillette doesn't sell just as many razors to women as it does to men.
Right, at a higher price, I might add.
Yeah.
But I don't know when I heard that there was outrage, I watched it and I was like, why are people upset at this? Sure, it's annoying. But it's not enough for me to be upset at. If I'm watching a commercial for toilet bowl cleaner and Mr. Toilet Bubble at the end of the commercial tells me, hey, don't rape and murder, I might be like, yeah, I'm kind of annoyed at that. I don't want that in my commercial, but I'm not going to be mad.
I'm with you 100%. A bunch of dumb dicks getting mad because they can't be their old selves anymore. F those guys, put them in a river. But what's there? Because I saw the ad and you're like, okay, I'm not necessarily asking for a political or social message in my razor ads, but you know what? We probably could use it right now. And none of those things that the ad is saying, who's going to stand behind that and be like, yeah, actually, that should be allowed. You should be able to grab a girl's ass in a meeting. Who's saying that?
A lot of people. Not that specifically, but a lot of people are upset.
Yeah, they're being like, this is Hollywood's, Hollywood's big celebrity influence on politics, trying to say that the current administration advocates this, that, the other thing. And it's not true. Because even if Donald Trump wasn't president right now, I still think that the Me Too movement, maybe it wouldn't have been this year, maybe it wouldn't have been, 2018. I still think it would have been right behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they say that the Me Too movement is a direct response to Donald Trump being president.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is, if that hadn't sparked it, something else would have.
Yeah.
Because it was rampant. It is rampant. It's bullshit. And there's gonna be some casualties.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's gonna be some growing pains. But those things that are happening are, I kind of applaud Gillette for that. I don't applaud them for testing their products on animals, but that's a different story.
Exactly.
Maybe they're like, hey, look over here. Look how great we are. Come here, sheep. Let me stab this like makeup in your eyeball. Yeah, man, those people, I don't get it.
I was kind of hoping you would get it because I didn't get it.
Yeah, I can't argue this. I'm right with you on it.
Yeah.
I think it's sad. I think, what are you teaching your kid? That you should be able to still treat women like shit?
Or bully each other, or like fist fight other kids? Like, I think it's good to not teach kids to fist fight each other.
Yeah.
Like in general, like as a general rule, yeah. Let's shy away from that behavior.
I get the pushback against everybody gets a participation award.
Yeah.
I'm with that. That drives me nuts. And sometimes you do. Sometimes there's grounds for an ass whooping. And sometimes boys will be boys, but most of the time you can handle it in a better way.
Yeah.
I think there's some people are like, well, when the apocalypse comes, everybody's going to be weak and soft. And no one's going to know how to do anything with their hands no more. And you're like, yeah, that's fine. I guess we'll just all die then.
Yeah. As opposed to, right, we'll die, and then all that'll be left is this society of people who, rape and harass, and they're like, yeah, but we're strong. Okay. Sure, buddy.
I think that
I'll be dead, so I'll be fine.
We'll both be dead.
I don't think I'll be dead. I think you can be strong and masculine or whatever, and also not harass women, and also see the flaws in allowing children to fistfight each other, or allowing kids to bully, or catcalling and all that stuff. I think both can exist.
I do. I think that some people think that it's unrealistic, though, because a lot of people don't live in the city, and a lot of people, we forget how it's like to live in a small town where there isn't a committee for everything, and there isn't a lot of people who look different. And if you step in and intervene in some way, you could get killed, or you could be blackballed for the whole town. Like, I feel like some people think that an ad like that simplifies what is a way more complex issue.
Yeah.
That is not as easy as just, hey, tell your boss that he can't treat the secretary like that. Okay, I'm going to tell my boss that. I also have a job here, and I also have mouths to feed, and I'm with you, but it's not that simple.
Yeah, of course it's not.
But that falls into the category of, there's going to be some casualties.
Yeah.
There's going to be some casualties. Inevitable. inevitable.
Yeah. I mean, I would never suggest that would be simple, and neither would this like short film. Now, I wouldn't give this short film an Emmy or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when I saw the outrage, I was like, wow, this is where we are? This is where we are? This is where we're at in society, where suddenly this commercial with what seems to be a good message is suddenly made into a left-right issue somehow, and like somehow it's attacking traditional masculinity, which I don't think it is. Like, you can still grow a beard and chop wood and all that shit. I don't know why you need to grab a woman's ass to be traditionally masculine.
Yeah. Well, I think those people see it as a direct affront on the administration. I think they see it as...
Why so?
Because grab her by the pussy tapes. You know what I mean? Like, that's the guy who's running the country. And that was a main domino, if you will, for the Me Too movement, in terms of when he got elected, they're like, are you kidding me? This guy? And so people who are big supporters of that feel like this is being used to subtly sway the masses to dislike who is running the country. And that means their way of life. It's like, make America great again. Means what? Make it so that you can still do that shit. Who knows? But I don't think everybody's like that. But I think the people who are the vocal majority is like, I don't want to be influenced by Hollywood lefties, you know?
Well, I don't know. I think I think Gillette is gonna come out on top. Like, they're gonna get a lot of brand recognition from this.
They're gonna be fine.
They'll be fine. Remember Nike was fine. Gillette's gonna be fine.
Any press is good press.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in today's age. No matter how many people boycott Gillette and make videos of themselves throwing away their razors and smashing their products, which is happening, Gillette's gonna be fine.
I'm cutting my wrists with a different razor.
Even though the video had a lot of dislikes, I gotta say, as a guy who puts videos out on a lot of platforms, dislikes do not mean shit in the real world.
You get paid on dislikes too.
Internet dislike. Well, you get paid on engagement. And
isn't that brilliant? Did they run the ad on their own YouTube channel, or did they run that ad against other videos?
It was 2 minutes, so they didn't run it against other videos. It was like they posted on their own YouTube channel.
So it's kind of brilliant. You make an ad and then run ads on your ad. And then you make money off your advertisements?
Yeah, I don't know if they did. I don't know if they monetized it or what.
But that's like movie trailers, too.
Yeah.
You're like, this is essentially a commercial for your movie that you're getting paid to show people. That's brilliant.
It's the best advertisement they could have gotten.
Yeah. Gillette's going to be fine. America's going to be fine. And, the next thing's going to sprout up. Because that's an issue that no matter what, Gillette's going to be on the right side of it.
Yeah.
So there's really no defense for that.
You mean the correct side of it?
Yeah,
what you're saying?
Yes, the correct side of it.
Yes.
Even Fox News has got to get behind that. You can't publicly say
they didn't.
What did they say?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's so confusing.
But did
they were like this is the, I'm paraphrasing, but I saw like a montage of Fox News hosts
condemning it?
Yeah, and saying like this is an assault on men, like in traditional masculine ways, and the pussification of America and all of this stuff.
Wow.
And I listened to a podcast that I won't shout out here, but I was listening to it on the way here, and I heard the host talking about it and saying like, yeah, this is an affront to, they don't want men to be men anymore. They want men to be cucks and all,
right.
and stuff that I didn't get from that commercial at all.
Well, nobody wants the pussification of men. I'm definitely with that. I don't want it. I just don't think that this makes that happen. See, what they should have done is shown the guy intervening with the bully, then the bullying being like, fuck you, and punching him, and then the guy, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, choke the dude out and be like, I told you not to bully, you didn't listen to me, now you paid the price, motherfucker. Like, that would have been...
commercial ever.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Just all these fights in a row.
Yeah. The guy grabs the girl's ass, the guy intervenes, the ass grabber doesn't want to have any of it, a fight ensues, and then the Gillette man whips out some nunchucks, karate shot.
Nice.
That's what you need to just follow through, Gillette. Follow through. You don't start violence, you just end violence.
You just end it. Oh, there you go. Well, okay, so I think it's an identity thing. Now that I'm thinking about it here, and I know we work out a lot of things on live radio, which is gonna get us in trouble at some point.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's an identity thing. I think because the ad was aimed at men because men are known for this behavior. Men don't commit 100% of the sexual harassment by any means.
No.
But like 80, 90% or more.
Yeah. Even gay men commit sexual harassment more to other men than women commit to men.
Oh, wow. I see. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I think it's an identity thing. I think this commercial is aimed at men, and some men saw this and were like, hey, I'm a man.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're talking about me. I don't like this at all. But the way I see it, it doesn't really apply to me because I don't do any of that shit, and I don't condone it in any kind of way. So I watch it and go, yeah, this is a problem for some people, not me, but some people.
Well, I think it applies to you in so much as we want you to say something.
Yes, that you're right about that.
And that might be the most difficult thing to do because there's all this education about, hey, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. And that's fine. It's easy to not do something. But it's hard to teach someone courage. It's hard to teach someone to intervene in a situation that potentially puts you in danger. Like in the video, there was the one guy, like, cat calls the girl, and the guy goes, hey, man, not cool.
Yeah.
And they were like super bro-y about it, and it's fine. That's not usually how it plays out.
Right.
Usually it's a bunch of dumb fucking bigger dudes who are more rough than you, oil rig operators or whatever, doing that shit when they're already drunk in a bar with 5 of them, and then it might be your girlfriend. Then they say something, and you're like, what do I do, Gillette? Like, what did you make a sword? Do you have a sword that I can purchase?
A straight razor.
Yeah. Like, now what do I do? And that to me is where the pussification thing happens, because it's the image that they're conveying is way more casual than this, and way less like stacked with stakes than I think most people can identify with.
Right. Because what you're saying is if you say something in these situations, then you're under threat as well. Then you're the target. You risk being the target.
Yeah, and that's what's tough to teach people. And I think that, what they're trying to say is if you start that way earlier, if everybody's doing this all the time and it's just not okay for anybody to say this, it gradually over time, the behavior stops and stops and stops and stops. And yeah, that's right. But I think the point of view from people who are offended is like, it's not that easy, man. Stop making it look like a damn after school special.
Sure.
Because that's how life works.
Sure.
And I don't need to hear it from my fucking razor company.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying that. I don't want moral lessons from my razor company or whatever. And my response to that is, we accept ads. So I'm getting a call.
It's Gillette.
Yeah, right. We accept ads as viewers in all kinds of ways. Like there are, you go to a news website and there's an ad that looks like an article. There are ads that play before internet videos. There's ads in your Instagram scroll and your timeline and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so suddenly now you're against just this one type of ad?
Ads with a message. I mean, there's ads with messages all the time.
All the time.
Coca-Cola and world peace and all of these things. It's like, yeah, that's a bullshit argument. Like, no, I don't want a message in my ads. You're like,
what kind of ad do you want, buddy?
Yeah, dude. Apple did that back in the 80s when it was like a new world is coming.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
That guy threw the thing into
smashing technology, smashing the corporate, zeitgeist or whatever. I just said zeitgeist in a sentence.
Wow.
I might have
Look at the big brain on Lloyd.
I know. So, yeah, I think I can't wait till Menon or $5 Shave Club comes out with yeah, you can still hit him, y'all. Yeah. Come on over here.
Grab that woman's ass.
Yeah. Matter of fact.
Just a response.
Yeah.
What would that would be funny, tragically funny, like the response to the Gillette ad from $5 Shave or from Dollar Shave Club or whatever.
Yeah.
Just all these guys just grabbing on women and just this horrible.
It's a dude in a strip club with dollars just throwing them at a stripper. And there's a guy for all those dollars, you can get in the Dollar Shave Club.
That's not bad. You should work for their advertising team.
I could. I will.
I would.
Oh
I would. And I'm gonna downvote this video. I am so upset.
Yeah.
Let me click and that does not mean dick in the real world.
No.
It really doesn't.
I
love you guys so much. I love you guys so much in the audience, but you can go, if you're watching the YouTube version of this, you can downvote it. I beg you, downvote it. Please. And we'll be fine. We'll be here next week, still making videos.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
I don't know what the algorithm does when you...
I don't think it does anything.
I think the only thing I think it does is it registers an interaction with a video, which is actually a good thing.
Right. Exactly.
Any interaction at all is a good thing.
Yep. Engagement.
Yeah.
I mean, that one was downvoted all to hell, and it's 24 million people saw it.
People
so downvotes don't mean anything.
Yeah. And that's not even including all the reaction videos and all the people posting it. You know, I just saw a video of a reaction to that video with 660,000 views on it. So
wow,
that's even more eyeballs on it.
And I don't think a lot of the reaction videos are reacting to it positively, especially on YouTube, because YouTube tends to be
male driven, dumb dick driven.
Yeah, not
you guys. Not you guys. You're my friends. You're my friends.
No, not even like male driven, but like it's a certain type of male. It's like angry bro, almost misogynist or misogynist. Have you ever seen like go to watch any feminist video?
Yeah.
Ever, and you'll see it's like got a lot of hate comments and downvoted, and I don't know why I don't know why YouTube became that. It wasn't always that.
Yeah. And look at the biggest YouTubers is PewDiePie, T-Series.
Okay.
And like Dude Perfect. You know what I mean? Like those are all like literally PewDiePie's people are called bros.
Okay.
You know what I mean? 70 million of them or whatever though. So
I don't think any of those guys are what are the problem that I'm talking about.
No, but those type of people watch that type of video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, a lot of women hating content on YouTube. What's that about?
I mean, it's not new, sadly. It's not. It's a tale as old as time, and it's.
But why does it get popular here specifically?
Because if you feel that way secretly, you can still feel that way and like take part in it without like anonymously. I think
it's like an alternative.
There's that digital curtain that protects you. You know, it's like I can be whoever I want, like gamers. Yeah. You know, like so much misogyny in that.
True.
It's rough.
True. Not here. I don't because
and they never get laid.
Incels. Statistically, if you look at because I look at the demographics of YouTube and in particular, it's people who visit the site. It's roughly half men and half women.
Right.
So it's 50-50, but it's like the comments and a lot of the influencers are dominated by not just bros, but bros who just seem really angry at women. Now that's not 100% of all channels or anything like that. Obviously the Young Turks are very popular and that kind of stuff, but there is this weird subculture that exists mainly here. Like it exists right alongside the conspiracy theorist subculture that exists here too.
Yeah.
So that's what I
don't know what that's all about. I as an influencer, I feel not a small responsibility, but I would, if I had the ability to change it a little bit, you know, I think sometimes people ask me like, you know, what are you most proud of or whatever. And if some of the things that you and I say, or some of the things on the Rap Battles channel or your channels or anything like sort of rights the ship a little bit, or at least sends it in the right direction of like, oh yeah, you know, I feel like I identify with that guy, and then he said this, and it sort of changed my mind in a positive way. That's stuff I'm proud of. Yeah. You know, I don't know how often it happens, but if it does, that's nice. We talked about that with the heroin joke and why we cut the heroin joke. It's like, I can't be happy about a joke that might get a kid killed.
Yeah.
Because people are impressionable. So,
well, also, I was thinking about that the other day about your decision not to do heroin jokes anymore, but because during the long run of the running heroin joke, America actually got a heroin problem.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to you, and it wasn't your fault or anything like that. And suddenly you didn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel good about telling a joke, why the hell are you telling it?
Yeah.
Don't tell it anymore.
God forbid I had anything to do with it. I didn't.
No,
you know. Didn't. But like, if you just remove the fear from the word a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't do heroin as a kid because it was like needles, and all you ever saw was like drug addicts all strung out in alleys and dark flop houses and stuff. And the reality is, it doesn't start like that. It starts with, you know, kid at a party who's got money to purchase heroin, or a guy who can't afford his pain pills from the hospital anymore and needs to go the cheap route. And now he's addicted to it, and he's still going to work every day.
Well, half of these, or I don't know what the stat is, so I'm just saying half. But the stories I've heard, it's people who got addicted to OxyContin.
Yeah, that's
and then heroin starts to get easier to get than some of these prescription pills, so then they just switch to heroin.
Yeah,
because it's, you know,
But just the word heroin struck fear into me as a kid. And that's good.
Yeah.
Fear is good sometimes. So yeah, we didn't feel good about it anymore. So and maybe the word misogyny will start to strike fear into people now, as we grow older. Hopefully it will, but stop being dicks, guys.
Stop being a dick, Lloyd.
I know, you don't have to be a pussy. Just don't be a dick.
There you go. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of hate and pushback for like sticking up for that commercial, but I don't give a shit. I mean, I'm not here to sort of kowtow.
No.
So, I mean, it's like we're here to figure these things out in real time. So you guys can agree or disagree.
Leave it in the comments. Let us know. Tweet at us. You got a Twitter, right?
I do. I don't use it that often.
Oh, you hate Twitter?
I do hate Twitter.
Instagram? Facebook?
I got all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them to various degrees. I like Facebook the best, then probably Instagram, then probably YouTube, then probably Twitter.
Yeah.
And those are the 4 that I use. So, these high school students over in D.C. in these MAGA hats who were allegedly harassing this Native American elder.
Yes. I read about this.
Yeah.
I heard about this.
You see these videos? I brought up a little still of it because I want to get a look at this guy because I think the image is important. I don't want to play the whole video or anything like that because it's long. And there's a ton of them. So these kids,
everywhere.
They go to high school at a private Catholic high school in Kentucky, right? And every year their high school like buses them out
to DC.
To DC for the March for Life.
So pro-life.
So it's like an anti-abortion rights like march or whatever that still goes on. And I guess this high school wants these kids to participate, so they like bust them out. And they're all boys, and they're mostly white boys, from what I could tell. And that image definitely comes into play a little later, which is why I bring it up. So anyway, from what I could tell, these kids are waiting out in DC, and they're sort of at the mall of DC, not like the shopping mall, but like the mall of DC where all that stuff is, the Smithsonian and all that stuff.
Smithsonian.
The
Smithsonian.
They're waiting on their bus, and there's a bunch, about 100 of them or so. And while they're waiting there are other protests going on, not just the March for Life. There's a Native American Day march or something like that, and then there's what they're called Black Israelites. There's 4 or 5 of them, which are these black guys who are claiming, I don't know exactly what they claiming to be Jewish or whatever. Oh, my cam went out. I just noticed that.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Ray, are you there? Ray, speak to me.
Oh, no.
Speak to me, Ray.
Back really quick.
Well, I've seen this all over the internet, and I watched the video. It was pretty long, a little bit disturbing.
Sure.
I have thoughts about it. It definitely triggered thoughts in me right away, and I was like,
all right, let's get off this page.
Damn, this is going to be a thing.
Yeah, we'll just get off that page. Just
there you
remember
are.
that kid's face. Yeah, I'm here. It's just on the other page. It wasn't working.
Got it.
Because we have there's no reason for us to be running our own podcast. We're just not good with this technical stuff.
We did get new cameras, though, guys. Hi.
Yay,
look
new
at us.
cameras.
We're crystal clear. The color's better. Thanks to Logitech for not sponsoring this.
That's right. Damn you, Logitech. So these Black Israelites were yelling like really, really like horrific shit at these
Is
kids.
that documented? Is that
yeah, there's a ton of videos of it because different
everybody
people,
has a camera.
Everyone has a camera. So there are a lot of different angles. They're yelling stuff at these kids. Some of these kids were kind of talking shit back, but these Black Israelites were pretty intimidating. And they were saying stuff like, your cracker ass, all this stuff. I had some of it written down. A lot of different stuff.
Sure.
And the Black Israelites were also harassing this group of Native Americans.
Okay.
So when the Black Israelites and the Kentucky white students were kind of getting into it, this old Native American Vietnam War vet named Nathan Phillips,
mm-hmm.
he starts beating his drum and doing a war chant or whatever it's called, a peace chant.
Yeah.
Sorry. And he starts kind of going in between to, I don't know, intervene, mediate, whatever you want to call it. He gets on the perimeter of where the Kentucky boys' school, where their group is, and then they kind of start to surround him. So he approached them, and then they kind of surrounded him
mm-hmm.
and all the bystanders and everything. Excuse me.
Welcome to adolescence.
Yeah. And that's where you see the clip of the video got viral, where the one kid kind of standing there smirking, wouldn't get out of the way, and was kind of being a prick. A lot of things were yelled, which you can see in various videos. Build a wall was chanted. I saw that in a video. It was disputed, but I saw it in 2 different videos.
Okay.
But just that one little clip went viral, and it made those kids look really, really bad.
Sure, yeah.
Although they were being knuckleheads and obnoxious, and some of them were saying build a wall, and go back to something or other was shouted at someone.
Were they shouting it at the Israelites, or were they shouting it at Nathan Phillips?
It was pretty chaotic.
Right.
But what you do have is the image of that MAGA hat kid smirking in Nathan Phillips's face, and it looks and feels disrespectful, despite the fact that there are other sides, there are other sides to the story and all that.
Yeah.
The boys were being extremely rowdy and disrespectful, although not as disrespectful as the Black Israelites by any means.
I mean, this for me, I saw the video, I read some articles, and I feel like this is a situation where people need to start looking at the whole picture, because a clip of that, and there was a lot of people doing things wrong in this situation. I saw the kid standing there in front of the guy smirking. It didn't I was actually more disturbed by the rest of the crowd sort of shouting at him. That kid, to me, that smirk looked like just a little bit embarrassed, a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit like when you're in an acting class and the teacher asks you to look eye to eye with somebody else in your class for like 5 minutes, and you're like, this is weird. I didn't see him moving. I didn't see him chanting anything. I didn't see him getting up in anybody's face. I saw a 15-year-old kid with a Native American banging a drum in front of his face. I don't know how often that kid's ever seen anything like that in his life. So I'm not advocating or I'm not justifying the situation, but what I am justifying is look at the whole picture. Because from what I saw, the first video, you don't hear anything about the Israel, the guys across the street yelling slurs at these kids.
Yeah.
All you see is a white kid with a MAGA hat in front of a Native American with a drum.
And it looks like he's taunting him by not moving.
Yeah.
Basically.
It looks like him trying to start something.
Yes.
The saddest thing to me, and I don't have a thing about it one way or the other, is just the presence of a MAGA hat infers hate.
Yes.
Which means that you can't even wear a hat in support of your own president anymore without being called hate. Imagine if someone wearing a hope hat or a change hat.
Or a pussy hat.
What?
The pink pussy hat. No, you go look it up.
Oh, the Obama campaign when it was hope and change back in the day.
Yeah.
They made t-shirts, tons of them.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a guy like that standing in front of this Native American. It would be different. Now, I understand completely where the idea or the analogy between that hat and hate comes from. I get it. But what I hope is that us guys and us people on the left still look at the whole picture regardless of the hat. Because if you start to prejudge, then you're no better than anybody else. The kid, first of all, kids, they're on a church group. They're pro-life, but I can't hate somebody for being pro-life. I don't agree with that, but I can't hate you for doing that. That's what you believe in your fucking heart. What am I supposed to do? Because I read the kid's response, and props to CNN for posting that response.
Yeah.
And being open about that and being like, look, here's what we got. We interviewed the kid, and the kid didn't seem like he had hate in his heart at all. So
not in the response,
and not to me in the video.
He didn't take responsibility in the way that if I had a kid, I'd probably make my kid take responsibility for that.
By saying what?
Because of the optics. By saying,
but because of the optics, not because you actually felt that way.
Well, no, not necessarily. Because the lesson here for this kid is like, hey, this man is an elder war veteran, Native American. He deserves plenty of respect.
Yep, for sure.
And I would, if I were a father, I'd probably be kind of a hard ass, and I'd be like, look, if a Native American war vet is out protesting, get out of his damn way. Don't stand in his face smirking. Even if he approaches you, just get out of his way and let him protest.
Yeah.
Because look at the optics and take that stupid hat off.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I mean, look at all of it.
Yeah.
Like if my kid were gonna go out for Halloween and he's like, I'm gonna dress like a ghost, and the ghost costume had a pointy head.
Yeah.
I'd be like, don't go out. And if you did go out, apologize. I'm not saying you're racist. I know it was an accident. It doesn't matter.
Apologize.
But the optics are really bad for this. Acknowledge that some things are right and some things are wrong, and you're going to win a lot of people back over. And what you should acknowledge is wrong in this case is that it's not okay to get in a man's face or like that, especially like a Native American war vet and some of the things that your friends were chanting. To acknowledge that that's not okay too, and then you can kind of make your case.
Sure.
But don't say like, well, look, none of this was my fault, or whatever. I didn't dissect his response completely.
Well, it sounded like the guy with the drum, Nathan Phillips, walked up to them.
He did walk up to them.
So if a guy walks up to me, like, I can move, but I don't have to move. Like, I'm standing here. Like, what are you doing?
I get it, but you're pitching it as if it happened in a vacuum. They were there. It wasn't just him. It was 100 of them.
Right.
And, they're not thinking critically because they're teenagers.
Sure.
Or whatever. And yeah, I would give advice to my kid, like, move out of his way.
Yeah.
Move out of his way so that you don't end up on fucking TV.
Yeah, but I get that. That's the rational world we live in, so you don't end up on TV. But let's remove that out of there.
Okay.
And now I'm like, well then, dude, I'm standing here. Don't come up to me with your drum and banging your drum. Like, I get it. Like, but like, you move around me, dude. Like, I didn't come up to you. I'm not coming up and getting into your face. If the kids had walked into that guy and surrounded him, walked toward him and then that would have been a completely different thing.
Both things happened. He walked toward them and then he got surrounded. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
It's like really splitting hairs here, but he went on the perimeter of that group and then they kind of started to fan out around him. He had some people flanking him too, some other natives.
Yeah.
So that probably helped the whole surround optics or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that the kid is 100% in the wrong. Although, if we want to switch gears a little bit, this Catholic high school is like busing their students out to this protest.
Sure.
I feel a little weird about that.
Why?
It feels a little overtly political for a high school. I get it's private.
Yeah, well, you're a Catholic high school. I mean, I didn't have any problem when the kids from Florida were going all around about gun control. I mean, granted, they're a lot more closely connected to it, but I think it's great when our kids have a
Parkland
voice.
High School didn't fly them out. You see what I'm saying?
As like a field trip? Yeah, can you say no to that trip?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Probably not.
My parents didn't sign the permission slip.
Sorry.
You get 40 lashings!
Well, it's probably a fun day for a lot of them.
Well, yeah, well, they're from Kentucky, right? That's where they're from.
They get to go on a bus with all their, they're all bros. They're all little Brett Kavanaughs in the making.
Yeah.
No, they're all little like
hats.
frat boy, pre-frat boys, like white kids, which again, I said doesn't help the optics.
Yeah.
It looks like 100 like white high school teenagers, a lot of them wearing MAGA gear.
But what I was moved by was, not moved. I don't know.
You were touched.
The statement from the school, the statement from the kid, it felt like it was coming from the right place in terms of like, hate is not what I represent. I represent a love for all people. They didn't bring anything about like, nothing struck me as, you're evil and you're shrouding it in this statement. It felt like a reasonable response of being like, hey man, I was uncomfortable. I'm none of these things this guy is telling me I am. Like, and the sad fact, not the sad fact, but like if you're a protester, you're a certain type of a person and you're a person who is passionate about certain things. And so you have an agenda, no matter what you think. You're out there protesting. That is like a sign of that.
Yeah.
So I can see how it would get exaggerated to go in one way or the other. And my other question is this: why didn't the guy with the drum go to the other side of the street? If there's people yelling racial slurs at a group of high school boys, and you want to intervene, why are you going over to the boys?
Oh, they were all close. They were all really, really close. Like the distance between these two groups was like 10 feet.
Oh, I see.
They were all protesting on the same steps. I don't think there was really a street between them.
Right.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then, the story got reported one way and then footage came out and then
I hate that shit.
It's like shifting a little bit. But I don't think the narrative has become, well, these kids are fine and no one did anything wrong or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like it was a rowdy group of boys. Like they're kind of doing that thing. They're shouting. One guy was like taking his shirt off.
It's like tribal mentality.
Exactly.
Especially when someone confronts you, everybody picks sides.
Yeah.
And you're going to, even if it's like, not to bring up the Gillette thing again, but like you're with a bunch of your boys and someone messes with your boy, it's on, and it's the whole crew. And that, especially when you're 15, so
what is, I guess when I was in high school, we didn't really get into politics. And now you got 15-year-olds wearing MAGA hats and MAGA shirts.
I think our generation skipped it. I think in the 60s and 70s when Vietnam was going on, it was massive, and then the 80s came and it was kind of a recovery from that, and then maybe 80s and 90s, and now now we're back. I think it happens in circles,
Jesus.
Yeah.
High school kid in a MAGA hat. Well, a high school kid in a hat that for a lot of people symbolizes hate. That's crazy.
It is unique and crazy, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Unique and
even because if it was a bunch of kids in a Reagan hat, I'd have been fine.
Yeah, no, I think most people would have been fine. It's that MAGA thing.
It is that MAGA thing. It's Make America Great Again because it's the same thing with the wall.
Right.
It's what it represents, and it's bigger than just the words.
Yes.
And it's bigger than just the president. So, but man, I hope people draw from this, and like you said, I hope people teach their kids, don't be a dumb dick. But also, like, look at every angle of everything. It's almost impossible not to lately. Everybody's got a camera on you. So it's going to come out.
The 900 people filming this event and instead of like helping and being like, all right, let's get out of each other's faces. Come on, guys.
Right. Come on, guys.
Let's go have a snow cone.
Hey.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
These damn kids and their
kids these days.
So listen to this, man. Mike Pence, the vice president of the United States, the USA of America.
Yep, Mike Pence.
Mike Pence. He's got a wife, right?
I figured.
Karen Pence.
And he doesn't go to lunch with any other girls, right?
Right. He doesn't. Right. He doesn't have dinner with any other woman other than his wife. He doesn't have dinner alone with any other woman other than his wife. It's this weird rule.
Okay.
Because he's such a stud muffin that they just can't keep their paws off of him.
I get it.
Right?
They should just never leave the house.
He is an Abercrombie mannequin of a human being. So Karen Pence got a part-time job at she's an art teacher. She got a part-time job teaching at the old school she used to teach at. It's a Man-uary Christian school in Northern Virginia. And this high school doesn't allow gay students or faculty. In fact, it's part of like the required questionnaire or whatever that you fill out when you're applying to get in. It's part of the application. That no homosexual activity, no homosexual identity, no transgender activity or identity. It even extends into like no sex outside of marriage, no masturbation, it talks about evolution and that kind of stuff. So essentially she's getting heat because she's teaching at a high school that bans gay students. Yeah. Now, to be fair to this Christian school, that's probably like all Christian school. I'd say like 9 out of 10 Christian schools probably have similar rules.
I mean, maybe. I don't think that you should, as the fucking, what is it? The second first lady? The first second lady?
The second lady.
The second lady?
I think she's the second lady.
Yeah. I don't think you're,
her.
as the second lady, should be advocating that to the whole nation and in support of that.
I agree. It's really shitty.
Sad.
She probably didn't think anything about it when she went in and applied. She probably didn't have to fill out the application. Like, oh, we know you.
I mean, that's just
But
basically
now-
putting your stamp of approval on that way of thinking.
Right.
Which is, first of all, like, I would think a political nightmare.
Yes.
And secondly, like, it's 2019, for crying out loud. I mean, good gravy.
That's what I thought.
I mean, even freaking Dick Cheney's daughter was gay, and it's like, gay people are here, y'all. Not going anywhere.
Get used to
Like,
it.
not gonna burn in hell, none of that stuff. Relax. Probably gonna make the world a better place because there's less people multiplying. That's what I think, you know? Adopting and being good parents, actually wanting to have kids.
Decorating the hell out of certain... No.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I know it's good for theater. So
Yeah.
I totally agree. My first thought when I read this was like, this still happens in 2019? Like in 2019? I get that it's a private school, you know?
Virginia.
Yeah, in Northern Virginia. And they're allowed to do certain things that public schools aren't. But like, I have very little tolerance when people leverage their religion to get away with bullshit, like discriminating against gay
It's my
faculty.
beliefs.
It's my beliefs. Well, I believe that you're a prick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, where do you draw the line? My God tells me that I can do whatever I can in my life to make it harder for you to be the actual person who you are. That seems, that's why religion and politics are supposed to be different, because politics is supposed to protect from that. And when they become the same thing, then you can make law around it, which kind of we already did and do.
Yeah.
But like, we're trying to make it better.
Well, the classic argument is like, well, what if that were about black people? What if
Right.
it said you're not allowed to
Be black.
be black?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, being gay is a choice.
oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you heard of Bob Jones University,
No.
but up until
Sounds prestigious.
yeah, I think that's what it's called, Bob Jones, Southern University. But it's up until the year 2000, interracial couples was not allowed.
At the school?
Yeah, as a private Christian school,
God damn.
and they weren't allowed to take. They forewent public public funding because they allowed that kind of discrimination. And when you allow that kind of discrimination, you're not allowed to take public funding. So they just kind of kept doing it. That's kind of the way the government pressures some of these schools and businesses to like shape up, is they will not allow. They'll say, yeah, you're a private university, you can totally do this, but you're not going to get public funds.
Yeah,
because you're violating these people's civil rights.
Yeah, that would be the federal government then putting their stamp on recruitment, which is why she's getting so much hate about this, because you're supporting that, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think she should quit.
But Karen Pence's school might get federal funding because, to my understanding, and I don't know where the law stands now, but last time I checked, sexual orientation was not a protected class in the way that in the way that race and some of these other things are, and religion and
Yeah, I mean, like marriage, like gay marriage is still not legal everywhere
right.
at all. So yeah, you're probably right. I feel like, and I mean, I'm just all of a sudden now I'm thinking back to my high school days, and I didn't go to a private high school, but I wonder how the administration of my school would have reacted if I don't remember there being any openly gay couples in my high school. And I think that is probably like a time thing and a generational thing. But I bet you there's openly gay couples all over the place in high school now.
There are.
And if an openly gay couple wanted to be affectionate in the same way as another couple in my high school, I bet some shit would have went down. I don't know what it would have been, but I bet you people would have had a problem with it. The teachers and parents, I bet you somebody would have said something. Now I don't know where I bet, because I'd like to think that the people in charge would have done the right thing, but I don't know. I don't know what would have happened. And I don't know what they do silently, where they just kind of pull the kid aside and be like, look, you gotta tone this down. It's not prom king and prom king.
Right. Straighten your wrists out, buddy.
Yeah. How many conversations like that happened?
That probably a lot.
Yeah. My brother is gay, And
Used to be.
Yeah, right. And I don't like to talk too much about my family because they're private and stuff like that, but I bet it was difficult for him. It was. I know for a fact it was.
He's older than you?
Yeah, he's older than me.
Okay.
And you would get comments about it, and I would get comments about it, and then you're like, oh man, now I gotta have a problem with this kid, but I shudder to think what it would have been like if he was open in that situation and what the principal would have said or the gym teacher would have said or like anybody on the football team or whatever. Like, it's time moves slow, and when you're in Los Angeles, it's hard to see the forest from the trees.
Yeah. Well, okay. So when I was in high school back in Oklahoma, there, quote unquote, were no gay kids.
Yeah.
There was like one kid who we maybe thought was gay.
Yeah.
And he totally was. And like he got the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah.
Constantly.
It's not easy.
By a lot of the I'm like plenty. And he hung out with sort of a small clique of girls, and the people bothered that kid a lot. I look back on that and I was like, wow, I feel bad for that kid now. And none of us knew. I didn't really know him. I think I had a class with him. I think I spoke to him once about homework, and he was nice and all that. But none of us knew like how to handle whether he was gay or not gay.
Yeah.
In any instance, right? Because we just weren't exposed to that culture at that time, especially in high school. Like, what do you do if a high school kid seems gay, but he
doesn't even know it yet?
But maybe he doesn't know it. Maybe he's not talking about it. Maybe he's denying it.
Yeah.
Do you go, no, yes, you are, or whatever? Back in the 90s. I'm talking about back in the 90s, not now. Now I know exactly what to do.
I mean, there was the whole AIDS epidemic back then, so being gay was like it was not only like socially unacceptable. It was like you could be dangerous. Don't touch me. That whole thing. You had Eddie Murphy's whole Raw like stand-up routine about like he was pretty homophobic in that stuff, and there was a lot of that going on.
And that it was standard. What he was saying was like standard humor for the time.
Yeah.
So I have a younger brother who is gay, like your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like 13 years younger than me.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
And so a few years ago, like when he was still in high school, about a couple of years after he came out of the closet and everything, I got curious. I said, yeah, so does anyone bother you at high school? Because he goes to the same high school that I went to when I was his age. Does anyone bother you? Because I was worried about him being that kid that I saw. And he said, no one bothers me. I said, you got like a little boy? He's like, yeah, I got a boyfriend kind of, and we're dating. I said, well, who do you hang out with? He's like, well, I hang out with my boyfriend, and we have some other friends, male and female, and they're a mix of gay and straight. And I said, no one teases you or calls you names? And he's like, not at all. I said, does anyone tease any of the other kids that are gay? And he's like, no. He's like, that must have been a thing of your generation. He's like, they do not do it at my school.
That's awesome.
I know. I was like so happy for him.
That's amazing.
I thought he was going to go through hell. And he's like,
also,
no.
your brother's 6'9". No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah, he's a linebacker.
Nobody bothers me.
Yeah, but he said no one bothers the other gay kids. There's no name calling or anything. And I was like, wow, we must have. I guess we grew out of that.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about, where time changes slow, but it does change. Like you have those Gillette commercials, and then maybe in another 20 years from now, it's just really weird when people treat women like that. Hopefully, that's how it's going to be. Because I knew when I was going through high school, my brother is a year and a half older than me, so I was a freshman, he was a junior, and we went through a lot. But like he would hang out with a bunch of other kids in theater, and like a lot of them ended up being also gay, after you graduate and stuff like that. But when my brother came out of the closet, I remember he went to college, and he came out that year, and he immediately dropped like 30 pounds. His whole face lightened up. His whole outlook on life opened up. Like like a burden literally and physically got taken off of his shoulders. And it was like stunning to me. It was very like, I was so happy for him. Because when you're hiding like that, it does all kinds of shit to your body and your brain and like your outlook on life. So I'm glad kids aren't getting picked on as much anymore.
Yeah. Well,
so F that for that girl going to work there. Like, come on, man. You can't support that. Like, That's stupid.
You're
Karen.
the VP's wife, man.
Yeah, man, you're the VP's wife. It's like the greatest nation in the world, like land of the home and the free and the brave and all that shit. It's like, you can't put your name on that. Come on.
She did. So, the hashtag on Twitter, expose Christian schools, was trending for a long time because of this and because of the MAGA hat issue, because they both sort of revolve around Christian schools, and it was like sort of the Me Too of this scenario where people were hashtagging expose Christian schools, and they were telling like tales of how they grew up gay and went to a Christian school, and how just these pretty horrific stories, actually, how they were like touched or bullied or encouraged not to be that way, and even people who weren't gay. It's pretty crazy. Just catching on.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I'm not a fan of Christian schools because of some of this bullshit.
I'm not a fan of Christian schools because of Christianity, mostly.
Hey!
I mean, whatever. Be what you want to be. Just like, yeah, I mean, you know what?
You can be gay, just don't be Christian.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's lots of good schools out there. It's just, there's just not, when you hear headlines like this over and over again, it's hard to like, and then you hear all the sexual abuse allegations, and then it's over and over again. You forget that Christian things do a lot of good, whether you like it or not, they do a lot of good.
A lot of charities, and give people a lot of hope and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of good things about it.
Well, I know you wanted to keep this episode tight, so
keeping it tight.
It is time. You want to explain what Stoner Thoughts is?
Stoner Thoughts. We always do Stoner Thoughts directly after we talk about religion.
Of course.
They're similar to like shower thoughts, where we have a thought that probably you only think about when you blazed on that hizzy. So we're going to say them, and then we'll react to them. If you guys have something that you want us to say next week or the week after that, leave them in the comments or tweet them at us or hit us up on Instagram or something.
Stoner Thoughts.
Airbnb is prostitution for your house. Whoa, that's so true.
Hey, man, what you in for? What are you in? What are you into, man? You like 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, bro? I got like 24
I got
square
three.
feet.
I got three.
I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care if it's sleeting. You put those people in your bed. Does that make us the Airbnb pimps?
The pimps.
Yeah.
That's right. You ever Airbnb'd? You ever Airbnb'd at all?
I have
I like it.
rented one, but I've never made my house available for one.
Same.
But yeah, I dig it. When we go to Idaho this weekend, we're not. We're staying at a ski resort. But yeah, I love it. When we went to, where it was particularly good was International, because those hotels are really sort of personality-less, and they rape you on the freaking charges. Or like we went to Paris and we stayed there for a while, and it was just like a little Paris house in the middle of downtown. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's
great.
Yeah,
and you can like, if you're there long, you can like use their washer dryer. You do laundry.
Yeah, go up their awful stairs.
Eat the food that other people have left that's questionable.
Yeah,
that's a good time.
Go through everything.
Stoner Thoughts.
Whenever you watch any kind of commercial with a crying baby, just think that it's someone's job to make damn sure that baby cries. I think about that all the time.
I know. I hear they have a little thing they put on their foot that like vibrates real quick. It's almost like a zap. You know what I mean?
Like zaps them.
I mean, that baby, they don't wait around with 60 crew members waiting for that baby to cry. I tell you that much. Those parents sign that baby away, and they go, we're going to poke this baby with a thumbtack.
Yeah, I didn't know if they stuck it with a pin or if they put on a monster mask or whatever to make it cry. I guess a vibrating foot thing is a little more humane than my idea, because I was going to start a company, and I'll get those babies to cry for days.
Jeez. Dude, it is scary. People will do anything to be on TV, and including have their baby
cry.
Uncomfortable.
That's insane.
Man.
No, thank you.
Stoner Thoughts.
There are people still from Tag when they were a kid.
Whoa. Bro, you didn't work hard enough.
See, it was all about freeze tag.
Yeah.
Freeze tag was the jam. Tag I thought was always kind of boring. And tag either game was really only fun if you got the slow kid to play, the kid that was for like days.
Oh yeah, that was so sad.
Yeah.
What was freeze tag again? If you get tagged, you froze.
You're frozen until someone untags you.
Yeah.
And then when someone untags you, you're it. But the thing is, sometimes your friends are jerks and they'll leave you frozen forever.
They'll just leave you frozen in the
Yeah,
snow.
yeah.
Bummer.
Stoner Thoughts.
Nobody sees an armored car without briefly considering how they might rob it.
Very true.
Whoa, very true.
Whoa.
Every time I see the Brinks truck, I think, how would I rob this?
I'm always like, what's that movie about bank robbers in Boston? It's got Ben Affleck in it.
Ben
Shit.
Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Anyway, yeah,
I know what you're
they rob
talking
those
about.
Armored cars. I'm like, yeah, I would put an explosive on the door, and then I realized, wait, I'm gonna kill an innocent person by doing this.
Oh no!
Then I stopped thinking about
the
it.
town.
Yeah,
The town.
The town.
Right?
Yeah,
the
there it
town.
is, the
Yeah, it
town.
was the town. Okay. Yeah, it was good.
Stoner Thoughts.
If we found aliens, we would be excited. If aliens found us, we would be terrified. Whoa, that's true. I don't want aliens to find us.
Yeah, I want to do it on our terms.
Thank you.
Our terms. I'll
Nope.
I'll be the visiting team. You don't gotta come here. Ugh.
No, I mean, think about both of those headlines. We found aliens. I'd be like, sweet. Or
Yeah.
aliens found us.
Ah!
Oh, no.
Well, we always think about alien life and how crazy it will look. Like, oh my God, they look so much like aliens. But if you look at some of the animals and plant life and stuff on this planet, it is like deep sea fish and stuff. There is some creepy looking things. And if you go smaller, like look like microscopically, like a termite looks terrifying. It's craziness, man. Imagine if there's just giant insects on another planet.
Oh, I couldn't handle. That would be my worst nightmare. Giant, like what is that, Starship Troopers? The
Yeah,
giant insects?
yeah.
I couldn't do
Big
it.
scorpions and
Nope.
stuff, praying mantises that eat people.
No, thank you.
Done.
Nope. I will dodge that draft.
Stoner Thoughts.
Thank goodness we don't grow hair in our knee pits.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
I bet you there's some guys, some Greek guys, they got a whole
knee
lot.
pit hair?
Oh yeah, I know guys that got hair on almost every part of their body.
But like a bushier patch than
Yeah,
normal.
like armpit hair.
Yeah, that you gotta put your speed stick on and stuff.
What the hell is armpit hair for anyway?
I don't know.
Somebody tell us that, Gillette.
Yeah.
Gillette, tell us
Make a
that.
commercial about that, Gillette, please.
Yeah.
Stoner Thoughts.
Girls don't compliment guys because they're likely to take it non-platonically. Guys take it non-platonically because it happens so infrequently they don't know how to handle it. Whoa.
Did we just solve sex?
I mean, we solved a little bit of the dating game.
If girls were more complimentary, guys wouldn't get so like a rush from it, and everybody could go home friends.
Yeah, you ever been like overtly hit on by a woman and you're like thrown off by it? Like, what? Oh, was he talking to me?
I've never been.
I didn't.
I've never
Not
been
on the internet. I'm talking about real life.
No, sure. I've never been overtly hit on by a woman when I wanted to be.
Of course.
You know what I mean? It was like I was never like, yes, I would love for this to happen. I've been overtly hit on by women, but most of the time I was like, yeah, this is weird. I'm not attracted to you like that. So if a girl who I was actually attracted to overtly hit on me when I was single, Josie,
yeah,
that would be a different world. That would be, if it happened over and over and over again, you would get numb to it a little bit, and then you would actually have to look for the personality and be like, what do I actually see here?
Well, then you'd notice it when a guy didn't. I think a lot of women are like, I feel like this guy should be hitting on me and he's not.
Right. Like,
This is weird.
You hear a lot. I've met some women who are like stunning, and they're super single, and they're like, guys are just, and it sounds really egotistical to say, but it's actually kind of honest. They're like, guys are intimidated by me. Nobody asks me out because they don't say it like this, but like because they're gorgeous. And then even if they do hook up with a guy, it doesn't go well because they're nervous or whatever. Like, I could see that happening. It is definitely hot white people problems.
Of course.
But like, it's certainly a thing. I know if when I was a kid and I saw someone that I was like super enamored by, I would just clam right up. I didn't know what to say.
I do that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stoner Thoughts.
You don't have nightmares about monsters as an adult because reality scares you more than your imagination. Whoa. That's what I was telling you. I had that nightmare the other day about a kid I used to work with drowned.
Yeah.
And I watched it.
Did it happen? That happened in real life? Or
No,
that
it
was
just
the
happened in
nightmare?
a dream. It just
Christ.
happened in a dream. And it spooked the hell out of me. But I don't dream about monsters and shit. I
Yeah.
don't dream about giant insects. That doesn't happen.
No. I always dream about. I have that dream where you're like trying to fight somebody and you can't. You can't. Like it looks like feels like you're punching in water.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and it's like you're
You
just
can't run
powerless
from the killer or that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's I
See,
hate that.
I dream I can't get my taxes in on time. Like those are my boring ass dreams.
Right. I dream I missed the Black Friday sale at Best Buy. Like no.
Oh no. I do realistically. I dream that I'm back waiting tables
Yeah.
somehow, and I've forgotten all about my life now because I hated waiting tables and I did it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I like can't get all my orders out in time, and I'm just like, ugh, what did I do to deserve this? This is terrible. And then I wake up and I'm in reality, and I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. Did you ever, when you were waiting tables, have waiting tables nightmares?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Every waiter has that.
Yes.
That makes me feel like waiting tables is a little bit like post-traumatic shock disorder. It's like if all the waiters are having the same waiter nightmares, because that feeling when you mess something up at a table is awful. When you know, like when you deliver all their steaks and they're all well done, which takes like 15 minutes to cook, and then you realize you forgot one that was supposed to be well done, and there's nothing you can do for this guy's birthday party to make it better. You're screwed.
Yep. Done.
It's the worst.
Yeah. You just ruined his birthday.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Ugh.
Bro, I gotta show you this because I was reading about this week. There are these computer-generated Instagram models.
Butt models?
Sure. Well, we accuse Instagram models of being like sort of vapid and kind of mannequins of anyway,
Right.
devoid of any like personality. Well, legit, there are CGI Instagram models that are doing well.
Oh my gosh.
And I wanted to show you this because it's pretty insane, although I don't know if my camera's going to work on here. I don't think it is. It's pretty insane. So just ignore the fact that I don't have a camera right now.
It's the computers doing it.
It's definitely the computer doing it. So this is Lil McKella,
Oh my God.
right? She has, 130,000 people like that. She has like 1.5 million followers or something like that.
Oh God.
And she's completely fictional. You can tell by looking at her,
Yeah.
right? Even like her caption seems real. It's written by a human. I'm thinking about everything that has happened to me through this. This is scary for me to do. Like, it's totally like a white girl post.
Oh, God.
Standard white girl post on Instagram. Okay? But then recently, and Mikkella's been around for a while.
McKella's old school.
She's been in the game.
She's old school fake person.
But then recently, this CGI company called, out of Tokyo called Modeling Cafe.
Oh God. Just that title's
Yeah.
pretty tough.
They came out with a girl named, I think it's Ima, IMMA. And she looks real,
Whoa.
right? She's doing the
She's kinda far
influencer
away.
thing. Yeah, but I'll give you some other ones. She's standing by a Lamborghini. Look at this. She looks
Whoa,
real.
dude.
Even her
That's a
poses
photo.
are
That's
real.
a fake photo.
That's CGI, dude. That's like Pixar.
Well, that's
levels.
like that guy they have doing the news there, like the completely fake news anchor who is like mouth motion thing.
Yeah. That
Dude,
guy.
it's coming. It's coming.
It is.
It's coming.
It is, man. And like some of these, like it looks
Jeez.
totally, like look at the lighting on that, like the angles.
That's terrifying.
Isn't that nuts?
And they're just making her do that stuff and then just posting for her and then just getting followers and followers and followers.
And it's probably promoting their CGI company.
I mean, they got me one over. Shit.
Look at that.
Damn.
Look how close up.
I could tell a little bit. She looks Japanese, I think. Like I could tell a little bit there, but not. Looks a little porcelain to me. But damn.
But if you weren't looking through that lens, you might
Right.
scroll right over this.
I would
and
never.
think, oh.
If you hadn't have told me that, I would never even question it. That
Right.
was
There's another angle like that. I mean, that looks real to me.
Damn,
She's also
dude.
not in motion, which probably makes it easier.
right. But jeez, it's coming.
Yeah. And there she is on the cover of
CG World.
Yeah, CG World, a magazine. And that looks like a model on the cover of a magazine.
Man,
So
where do you go with that? I mean, that's going to be movies and stuff.
yeah,
but
those
where-
are some stoner
Yeah,
thoughts.
right. That is a stoner thought. Where do you go with that? What does that lead to?
What, for the company?
just in general, like I think about entertainment right away.
Yeah.
Like, voice acting becomes way more valuable, but then all of a sudden you don't need real actors anymore. It's just you never get old and you look like a real human. You're Johnny Depp in your prime forever. Imagine that. Johnny Depp just has an avatar and then he becomes a voice and it's just his age forever. But what other practical application is there of that kind of CGI?
I mean, other than, constructing fake humans for entertainment purposes in movies, which there's money in.
Yeah, but maybe cyborgs, like you use that as the model of what they look like, and then you just build the body around it. God,
but it's all heading toward that. You saw the Chinese news anchors that were all CGI,
right? But that was only on a screen. That's not in real feelable life.
Well, we're certainly not there yet. I'm sure.
Maybe we don't bring the robots to us. We go to them, in so much as we all start wearing VR shit, like, my little mask up there, and all of a sudden it's all these things that we interact with in their kind of world, the digital style,
You mean like augmented reality?
Augmented reality, VR, instead of trying to make a CGI thing physical, we go digital, like a digital projection of ourself in an entirely new space.
Yeah, that's VR.
Yeah.
It's like where you're standing in a... Yeah, in fact, some of the VR stuff that they're working on now, you're not completely in a different world. You're in your world, and it'll map like skins over... If you have a couch in your living room, it'll map a skin over it, and it'll look like some boxes or something like basically... It makes your world look like their world.
And they have those rigs now that like they strap you in by the waist and you're on top of a ball, but the ball is like stationary, but you can walk. So like when you're in this VR game, you're like moving and walking and stuff. So you're like,
what?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they got that stuff happening. They have games now where, when you shoot the gun, the video controller vibrate so you can feel it, but like that's getting more and more and more and more realistic. So you pull a sword out and it looks like an actual sword. Dude, it's Star Trek.
I love it.
We are headed for Star Trek.
I can't wait for that stuff.
Yeah, I think we'll miss it.
What? You think it'll come out?
Imagine if you're like 5 years short of like the best ever invention. Like the guy who dies the day before the Live Forever ever pill gets like put on the market forever,
Well, think about when you're like 60, 65 years old and all this new stuff that we can't even comprehend comes out.
Yeah.
Whatever the internet of their age is,
Yeah.
comes out, and we're still alive, but we're like not. It's just like hard for us to use and figure out because we didn't grow up with it, and all these kids are enjoying it, and we see them enjoying it, and we're just going, I don't fucking know how to right click. What is that?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it too, like 60's not even really that old.
No.
You
Especially
know
not in
what I mean?
today's ill.
No.
60's the new 100.
Like people do things like Donald Trump is the oldest president ever in history.
Yes.
And he's doing arguably the biggest thing he's ever done in his life at 75
right. and
or whatever.
Still eating McDonald's and drinking 19 Diet Cokes a day.
Right? He doesn't drink. That's why I think he lives so long. But like, I think a lot of times people think that once they get past whatever, they're past their prime and then they just sort of coast out the rest of the life. I hope that I don't do that. I hope I'm still doing something super cool when I'm older.
Well, but you gotta stop drinking if you want to live that long, as you said.
I
You don't know about giving that up, huh?
I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, no, there is something inspiring about seeing Donald Trump as the oldest president, kind of eating like shit and not exercising and still just going at it, like every day.
Who knows what kind of drugs he pumps into his body? Like that, those presidential drugs are probably real pure. He's probably got access to all kind of experimental shit. They should drug test the president, BTW. Why do they drug test John Bones Jones, but the guy who's got his finger on the freaking button isn't getting a blood test?
Well, that one guy came out and said that he used to work with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is addicted to, I can't remember what he called it, but it was basically like speed / Adderall.
I believe that.
Which Adderall is like a mild form of speed, but it can be really bad for some people.
Yeah.
Well, with as little hours as he sleeps and as temperamental as he is,
I mean, no matter if you like him or not, when you're the president, like you can just look by how those people's hair color changes. Like you're working.
Yeah.
You're working. You're always on.
Of course.
So Damn.
It'd be crazy if he was taking Adderall, though.
I mean, it's a legal prescription drug.
I agree.
That's what's crazy about me, to me, is that something that powerful is just given out so freely.
It's an amphetamine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. Here's my question.
What?
When you can have sex with a robot, which you know is going to happen,
Go on.
is it allowed in a relationship? Like, is it just become an extension of a sex toy? Or is it going to hold a different weight for people?
I think, well, it's all about the conversation you have. I think in general, doing it would not be allowed, like without any kind of conversation first.
Like, you can't walk in on your husband. You know, you walk in on your husband and he's got some porn on and he's doing his thing. Okay. You walk in on your husband and he's got like a VR headset on. He's rolling around with a robot. It's a different that's a different level of embarrassment.
Well, for some people, some women walking in on your husband watching porn is not okay.
Sure.
Like, so it's all about those boundaries you set, I guess. I know that's the boring answer.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure some people will be like, yeah, do we want to let Wally in on this tonight?
Wally.
Yeah. And then
You
the
be
answer will
Eva
be like,
tonight.
sure.
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
Jeez.
Like, when you say, because every time you say robot, I picture this sort of like smaller version of the Iron Giant kind of thing. But
No,
knowing
I'm like
damn
this
good and well,
girl.
they're gonna look humanoid. They're gonna look real.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna feel like cheating. You like Mr. Bolts more than you like me.
Mr. Bolts.
And
Ironside.
Exactly. And
Oh,
I think
man.
it's gonna break up a lot of marriages. I don't know, like, what are they? Fleshlights and those real doll sex robots.
Yeah.
They exist, and they don't.
Dude, there's whole
They don't
industries
break
around
up
that shit.
marriages
That's
now,
what I'm
not
saying.
in mass.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if when you can have sex with a robot, if it's going to be treated just like that. Like, just basically an extension of your own sexual relationship. Or if, because it's so real looking, it'll be a threat.
Well, a robot is not like porn in that you can't, right now anyway, you can't just access one at your fingertips.
Right.
So if I were to get into a relationship with a woman and she had a 6-foot bucket of bolts robot in her closet, a sex bot, we're going to have a conversation about those rules and regulations, before that relationship continues. Like, wait, what is this for?
What's this?
And how often do you do that? Okay, and then you plan, all right, I need to see how I feel about that.
And how do I fit in here? What's going on?
Right, yeah, what do you need me for? Oh, because I earn money? Got it.
Yeah. Hey.
You see?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Dude, I'm calling Gillette on you, Ray.
Oh, no. I'm the worst a man can get.
The worst a man can suffer through.
I read this crazy story this weekend about this teenage young man, 17 years old in 2011, and he was in China, and he sold his kidney for an iPhone.
That's stupid.
So let me really? You think so? I think we should explore both sides of this.
Did he really do that?
Yes. This actually happened. This is 2011. It was documented because there's an update on it. That's why we're talking about a story from 7 years ago.
I mean,
So
was he in prison?
No. He was a teenager, like any other teenager. He wanted an iPhone. He didn't have one. And so he linked up with some people on the internet, and they offered to remove his kidney. These were some surgeons and a couple of other people who set up the black market deal and everything. And apparently organs are a big deal. Like, harvested organs are a big deal on the black market, especially in China. I didn't know that. I thought it was always an urban legend. But no, it's a thing. People do it. So he goes to the hospital. He's there for about 3 days. He sneaks out. He's there for about 3 days. He gets the surgery. He comes home, and he's got a new iPhone and iPad, and his mom notices, and she's like, where'd you get that? And of course, it all comes out. She goes to the authorities. These guys like 9 people got arrested and tried. Some of them are in prison now.
Good.
And so the kid paid like 22,000 yen. I don't know. Every article I read measured the payments in yen. I don't know why, because it's in China. No. He did get paid that. He got paid 22,000 yen, which is about $3,000, which is
For
enough
a phone?
for a kidney.
Right, but I'm saying, like, he got a phone for it.
He got $3,000 and then went and bought a phone and an iPad.
Oh, they didn't just
Yeah, they weren't just
swap
like,
it.
no, it wasn't just an even trade. Like, that's what he did with the money.
Damn. Here's the stupid part is that when you're recovering from that surgery, the best thing that you have is an iPad. But
True.
he has to get healthy enough to get out of the bed to go to the store. Maybe he got it delivered.
Well, no, he came home with it. So the family was awarded like 300 grand in US dollars compensation for all of this. And so to this day, this kid is bedridden and needs around the clock care. He's like 25 now because he got an infection from that surgery, some kind of renal issue, kidney issue.
I mean, these are the stories that you hear and you're like, is this Ripley's Believe It or Not or something? Like what could be, I mean, what could motivate you as a person? You must be so starved for contact with the world and so desperate and feel so powerless that you would do something that extreme. And then to have the balls to go through with that. Like, at no point this kid got cold feet when he's walking into the surgery room. These guys are sharpening up their blades and stuff. Like, you just keep pushing through. I do have to say, though, that's maybe the first thing the kid bought. But he got 20,000. He sold his kidney for 20,000 yen. He didn't sell his kidney for an iPhone. He bought an iPhone.
Right, but he did
needed
it.
money.
That was his motivation. His motivation was he wanted an iPhone because he is from a poor area, and it's like a big deal there to have one. And I love that he came home with an iPhone because the article made it sound like he went and had the surgery and like showed up back home 3 days later with an iPhone and an iPad, meaning he got his kidney taken out and he went right to the mall.
Right.
And then just went home. Which I think is hilarious.
Yeah. You got tubes in you and shit. Like,
well, he got discharged from the hospital in about 3 days.
They did it in a hospital?
Yeah.
Wow.
They did it in a hospital, but I don't know how those guys got access to that hospital, if they were like working on the side, those doctors. I don't know how that works over there in China.
God. Poor guy, man.
Yeah, but there was an update recently and that like he is screwed for life.
That is crazy. That is insane. Wow.
For an iPhone, bro.
I know. I mean, what's worth doing it for? A house? The life of your child? Maybe that.
Nah.
You have your kid for ransom.
Nah.
I would do it for the life of my child or my wife or my kid.
Okay.
You know, maybe he was in prison and it was like he can get out of prison. You know, he gets out, he gets like a lower sentence or he gets paroled or something. I'd do it for my freedom. But maybe the iPhone is his freedom.
Was.
Did he die?
Well, it was an iPhone 5, so it's totally.
Could you imagine he gets the iPhone and then like his laptop's non-compatible or something like that? Or God. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Well, he got his. I hate to say it because it's such a tragic story, but he got his comeuppance from it. Like he learned his. He probably learned too much of a lesson.
I mean, that's not fair. How old was he?
He was 17.
That's too young. He's a dumb kid.
He's a kid. You're not really an adult. You're not even really an adult at 18.
Yeah, I think
legally
I
are,
was still dumb when I was 25.
Dumb now.
Yeah. I think, look at the stuff I did when I was 25. You're a child. Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
I know.
Well, yeah, I wanted to end on that positive note.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess we can crown some people and
Can
stuff.
we? All
Yeah,
right.
I guess I mean, I know who I'm giving the
The kings of influence have delivered a verdict.
All right, guys, this is the part of the show every week where we crown a king. Let's do it. And we crown a jester. I don't know if jesters get crowned, but
right. We
anoint a jester.
anoint the jester with a little bell hat. And who am I giving the jester? I got to give the jester to Karen Pence, man.
Yeah.
I think like it's just too big of a lens on you to be so oblivious to the things you're putting your stamp of approval on.
You're right.
Politics aside, there's no politics in this country that says we can prevent people from being happy by keeping them out of schools. Not okay. Not okay. Karen Pence, you joker.
Totally agree. So what about the king? Who gets the king?
The king. I'm going to give it to Gillette.
I was going to give it to Gillette too.
Oh, they got big hairless balls that they keep slick and shiny with their razors. But they, I commend anybody that has a stance on something and backs it.
Right.
And I also think it's probably a brilliant move because I bet you they sell more razors to women than to men.
Probably.
I bet you that there's definitely more money in women's cosmetics than in men cosmetics.
Yeah.
So imagine if it was all business. That would sort of whore it up a little bit for me, but I still commend them for doing it.
So Gillette probably got more sort of, what do you call them? Customers.
New female customers.
New female
than they
customers.
lost
Because
male
females
customers.
watched that video and were like, yeah, I don't like any of this behavior.
Yeah, I'm all with this. Get him, Gillette.
For sure.
Now I have something to point out when we get in an argument, me and my husband.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, we aren't live right now, so we can't really do the chat afterwards, but we will be live back next week. Fingers crossed. We'll be back to normal.
That's right. We are here usually every Wednesday, and if you want to get a quick text about when we are about to go live or when we are about to upload, go ahead and text the word KINGS, K-I-N-G-S, to the number 43506, and Ray and I will just send you a quick text, be like, yo, we're about to go live, or yo, we're about to upload here, check it out. So outside of that, we're here every Wednesday at noon, California time, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, guys. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much.
Hey, get up.
Dude.